Hello, Leo, and welcome to your tarot card reading for May 2024. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jane, and in these readings we really go through a tarot card prediction and astrology prediction. I really try my hardest to link these two together to give you the most accurate predictions that you can possibly get here on YouTube. So we are going to go ahead and get right into this. If you are interested in a private reading, I've made some changes to my offering, and as of May 1st, those will be made available on my website for booking. So if you're interested, the links can be found in the description box and the pinned comment down below. So be sure to keep your eyes open for that. I'm very excited to be connecting with all of your energy this month. It's a very exciting month as we have Jupiter coming into Gemini at the end of May. We have Taurus season. We have Venus and Mars in rulership. We have really wonderful things happening in the sky that are going to help push us forward. So with that being said, you're welcome to check out your sun, moon, or rising sign. If you're brand spanking new and you have no idea, just check out your sun sign. That's fine. And if you're kind of exploring, please check out all three of those signs to see which one resonates with you the most. Some readers will resonate with different placements. So if you resonate more with your sun or rising with me, then that would be who you would watch with me. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Thank you all again. You guys know I love and appreciate each and every one of you for being here. So let's go ahead and get started. Hello, Leo, and welcome to your May 2024 tarot card reading. So let's go ahead here and take a look and see what comes through for you. Starting with an oracle card. Okay, trust your intuition. I mean, that's always a good idea, but right now I think it's really important to follow your gut. And your intuition might not be the loudest thing most of the time. Right now, I feel like it kind of is. I don't know that there's all this convoluted stuff going on. I think it's very clear what you need, what you want. It's very clear at least the next couple of steps of what needs to be done. It's clear that a specific direction is ultimately in your best interest. It's clear that certain choices are in your best interest. It's clear, it's obvious. And now it's really a matter of an alignment and actually doing and actually implementing and actually making the change. Because I feel like there are things change was such a huge theme in the past few months. With the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. The conjunction is over now. So the pressure to make change is now done. But now we have to actually integrate the change. And it does seem like your intuition is like, yeah, it's time. You're ready. It's okay. You're capable. It's going to be all right. It feels calming to me. I love the green and the association with the heart chakra there. Like there is a real heart message coming through. Your heart is speaking to you. You don't have to doubt it. You don't have to question it. You don't have to second guess it. You don't have to be skeptical. You can just trust. Trust and follow. And I even like that she has, her blindfold on. It's not about all the evidence, and it's not about having all the answers, and it's not about control. It's about blind faith. So I have this, how can I infuse more self-love and compassion into my daily life? Okay, I'm going to read just the little quote here. If your compassion does not include yourself, it is incomplete. I love that. One of the things you can do, set stronger boundaries, meditate and listen to your heart, speak to yourself with compassion, focus on your strengths, say no to something that isn't a soul yes. Say yes to something you are afraid of. Let go of what you cannot control. Stay far away from drama and negativity. Ask for help and allow it. Write down 3 things you are grateful for. Okay, just a few little things on the back of the card I thought might be helpful. So, how can you do this? Following your intuition is a massive act of self-love. When you're all in your head and you've got all this fear and you've got all this doubt and you've got all this nagging, you've got all this like spinning, that is not an act of self-love, right? Being hard on yourself, being critical, being judgmental on yourself is not an act of self-love. And it's going to disconnect you from your intuition big time. So finding a way to allow yourself to hear yourself is going to be exceptionally important. Because when Mars comes into the 9th house, there is an opportunity for you to transcend a lot of circumstances. Okay, this is an opportunity for expansion. You can expand your life, expand your breadth of experience here. So we don't want to put limitations on ourselves. So finding that serenity, finding the peace, finding that even just regulated nervous system, finding that can be so useful in a practical and spiritual way. And I think Leo is really ready for a new direction. I think you're ready to apply your talents and skills in new types of ways that you feel more fulfilled. And if there had been any stagnation in your life, or it felt like things just really were not happening and really were not moving at all, this is a time to really start nudging that needle and start building the momentum. But you have to be really attuned to what's going on inside of you and what your soul is saying, and providing the environment. Self-love is absolutely the environment for a high quality intuition. Okay. Hold on. Not all those. Hold on. That was too many. Just do one at a time here. 4 of Wands. All right. So there's a little instability right now, and that's fine. Maybe it's really a good thing if the rug gets pulled out from under you a little bit. That was my message for the past couple of months, that like we needed to get uncomfortable. The planets were like saying, hey, you got to get out of this comfort zone, because the comfort zone is not doing you any favors anymore. We got to revolutionize and kind of embrace the chaos of change a little bit. And I think that message still continues. It still applies as we move through May, Taurus season, and then on into Gemini season. We also have Jupiter finally moving into Gemini at the very end of May. So we're going to really start to feel that sense of relief come the end of May. So, but it is still destabilizing. Because sometimes your intuition asks you to do the hard things. Sometimes it asks you to make the hard choices, and it asks you to take the difficult actions, and it wants you to like exert the effort. And in doing so, you're really changing the atmosphere, changing the energetic field. And you may have still a lot of questions. And I think Mars in the 9th house is a very questioning, truth-seeking type of transit. You're trying to find the best way. You're trying to find the right path. You're trying to find the right answers to things. But I don't know that that's really the point. It's not about having the answers. That's very much a more intellectual activity. We need it to be a little bit more heart-based. So it's really about getting out of your head and again into your heart. And it might feel like by doing that, like you're losing a little too much control. And on one hand, it may be exhilarating. On the other hand, it may be terrifying. But you got to do something different, because I feel like things are like the balancing of this 6 of Coins scale, the give and receive. Like I feel like maybe there's been a little too much rigidity with something. There's been a little too much stubbornness with something. And right now, Leo, what you don't need is stubbornness. What we need is evolution, and stubbornness and evolution do not go hand in hand. But we need to find a way to get the flow going a little bit more, because the flow, the inflow and the outflow is going to make the whole process so much more simple and so much more straightforward. So really dropping into the heart is the first step. and not overcomplicating things and not overthinking and overanalyzing and overindulging in things, right? It's about simplicity. And maybe there is a lot going on in terms of setting your boundaries and being a little bit more disciplined with yourself. There might need to be a little bit more discipline exerted in certain things. So when you're thinking about the direction you want to go and you're thinking about the changes you want to make, I think being really honest with yourself about what realistically can you do and what realistically makes the most sense. Like, you can be very practical, especially with all the Taurus stuff. Please, by all means, be practical about stuff. You can even be realistic. I'm not even telling you to be so delusional that you're all in your, manifestation, law of attraction, Like, I'm not even saying that. Like, you can be super realistic with stuff. Because actually, I feel like the more realistic you are, the more manageable and more doable everything feels. When something feels manageable, you're more likely to do it. You're more likely to make the change. And if you do it, if you actually do, then you can kind of kickstart this flow a little bit. And you don't have to search for answers, because there's no answers, because you did it already. Because you know you can do it, and then you did it, and then it's done. So you don't search for anything. You don't have to search and look, because it's done. You literally checked it off your to-do list. All right. So, I think setting it up so you can succeed, that's really important. And being honest with yourself about where you're at and the resources that you have and the time you have and the energy you have and all, like, be realistic about it. And yet still you can push a little, but I just want to see something. And I want to see the passion. And I feel like maybe there's something you've really lost your passion for. Because I'm not seeing passion coming out. And I'm talking to my Leos. I want to see the heat. I want to see the fire. We've got Mars and Aries. I want to see the fire. But maybe you got to kind of like restart the flame a little bit. You got to get the kindling going. You got to get the logs on. You got to build it up, build the fire, build the momentum and the desire. And maybe that's how Taurus season starts. Or May, that's how May starts. But let's see what comes through for the rest of it. Okay, I like the Tower. I really do. Okay, there's the fire. There she is. She shows up eventually. But the Tower is the decision point, and the fact that it's in the very center of the reading says it all. Okay, like, there is a structure in your life, something very well established, like in your own, it's like your own little old world. Okay, it is your own little old world, and it is time to rip that mofo apart. It is absolutely time. This is the revolution. This was what Jupiter-Uranus conjunction was about. Seems like, Leo, with this reading, with this set of cards, that you either were pushing against it or you weren't ready. Like I say, there was the stubbornness there maybe, or, whatever it was. But this is you saying, I am going to rip this structure apart. And yes, with the Four of Wands, it is very destabilizing. We're supposed to be in a place like that. And I know fixed energies do not like that. Fixed energies don't handle. Now, Leo can handle extreme, kind of like Scorpio. I feel like Leo and Scorpio are like the extreme signs. You can handle kind of walking on the edge when it comes to certain things. But when it comes to maybe certain aspects in your own life, I think there is a rigidity. And I think you're confronting that rigidity right now, even though your intuition is saying, let go. It's saying, let go. It's saying, release. It's saying, find freedom. If you are going to be searching for answers, probably one of the best questions you can ask is, how can I find freedom? Mars in the 9th house. Okay? But tearing down the structure of your old world is going to be one of the ways to do it. This might be a mindset. It may be a behavioral pattern. It might be a circumstance in which you find yourself. It might even be something as extreme as like being in survival mode, right? And if you're in survival mode, which is a very stressful mode to be in, and you would rather be in a mode of relief and abundance and relaxation and feeling just comfortable, you're going to have to say, okay, I have to stop doing the things that continually put me in survival mode. I have to stop spending my money like this. I have to stop, doing X, Y, and Z things, because that's what's getting me into so much trouble. And with the Five of Swords reversed, I'm kind of sensing that there's something that you're not really wanting to look at, or you've been in avoidance of, or you've been in some kind of a haze about. Even with the Seven of Cups, it's like there's a haziness to everything with these clouds in the air. It's just kind of this really weird atmosphere. And it's just murky. It's festery. It's like growing stuff that's not healthy for you. And so I see this. It doesn't feel urgent to me. Like I'm not sensing this like, oh my gosh, I have to hurry up and do it. But it does feel like there's a lot of pressure. And it feels like that pressure is becoming unbearable. And so maybe you really, really tried to keep this intact. You really tried. You really put into it. And maybe the past couple months, in spite of this pressure to make changes, maybe you went the other way and said, no, I'm going to preserve, which was completely the opposite. But now you're like, all right, trying to preserve this is actually stealing my spirit away from me. It's dividing me. It's ripping me in half. And I don't like you're reaching, or you have reached that breaking point where this absolutely no longer can stand. And then comes in the Queen of Wands, like a freaking warrior coming in and saying, let's clean up this mess. Let's clean up this issue. Let's get ourselves out of here. Because she's my bulldog. I always call her my bulldog. Like once she gets her teeth sunk into something, she will not let go. And I don't think you'll be that forgiving with yourself once you make that determination. Once you say, this is going to be what happens, there is no looking back for Leo. Once the Tower happens and you start ripping this apart, because that is what your intuition says must be done. So you start ripping this apart, and then you sink your teeth into the next thing, and it is the future from this point on. This is what's going to really jumpstart the flow of the Six of Coins, the give and take. Okay, you have to be able to receive in order to be able to give, and you have to be able to let stuff go in order to receive. Okay, this is like the cycle. It's the reciprocation. It goes both ways, in and out, in and out, in and out. You have to open the floodgates for the flow to happen, though. And sometimes that's the hardest part, especially when we're trying to preserve something. But trying to preserve something that's not helpful is not an act of self-love and compassion toward yourself. Okay, it's an act of resistance. And you're fighting against something. And you're trying to resist the evolution that is ultimately inevitable. So once you finally just surrender and say, okay, I acknowledge that this evolution is unavoidable. The Tower is unavoidable. It is a major arcana in the very center of the reading. You're going to run smack dab into that at some point in May. I don't know. Maybe it's not the beginning of May. You probably have no idea what this is at this moment. Watching this in the end of April, right? You're probably no idea. But at some point in May, you're going to face plant straight into that thing, and you're going to be like, all right, this is it. This is the moment, the turning point right here. Never again. Never, ever, ever. So Queen of Wands comes out. There's the heat. There's the passion. There's the energy. Let's not forget, as Mars moves through Aries, it's going to come into contact with that North Node. And it is going to redirect you toward a destiny point. There's a pivot that happens there for sure. Okay. Ace of Swords reversed. Five of Wands. Such a dramatic reading, my goodness. And, okay, so the only major arcana we got was the Tower. That's the only thing you really have to worry about is that Tower card. But you are not, okay, I'm just looking at this card here, and this card here. You are not going to have the answers. You are not going to have the clarity. And I think you're the only sign that I'm going to say that to. I'll be honest. You're the only one. I mean, not everyone has all the answers, but I think you're feeling a little bit more lost or a little bit more, well, maybe you're not lost, but you're feeling a little bit more overwhelmed by this process than most of the signs that I've read for so far, based on these cards. It's a little heavier, it's a little harder, and I don't know why specifically or where you dug your heels in somewhere, and maybe you don't even realize you dug your heels in, but I feel like clarity is just not, like you're not going to have the ability to wrap your head around this right now. That's why she's blindfolded. You cannot see. This is a feeling activity going entirely based on what your heart is telling you you need to do. And I also think there are going to be other people involved. I mean, we only got the one court card. I feel very strongly this is you. So I'm not seeing other people, although with the Five of Wands, other people will be affected by it. This could create some chaos. And maybe the reason you were preserving was for the sake of others, family members especially. So when you go through the Tower, other people are going to swarm around and be like, holy cow, what is this? What is Leo doing? Because when Leo makes a move, when a fixed sign like you makes a move, it is felt. Because it's not always the most common, especially when it's big, dramatic moves. Really not the most common. So other people are going to feel it. Oh, sorry, there's like a pack of dogs outside in my house right now, and they are howling. I don't know if the microphone is picking that up. My gosh. But actually, that's kind of perfect for the Five of Wands, is like the chaos. People howling, people barking, people freaking out, people like, what, Leo, are you doing? What is this? This is crazy. And maybe it's in a good way. It doesn't have to be bad. It's just, it feels very shocking or very surprising. And people, it's like kind of when you have a hornet's nest and you try to start knocking it down, and all the hornets start swarming around like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Everything is getting destabilized. Maybe a little bit of drama, a little bit, like let's say you're a business owner and things are just maybe not going super well. And so you start implementing some new systems. You start shaking up the business operations a little bit. Well, okay, yeah, people are going to feel that. And there's going to be an element of chaos associated with that. Just the whole pot gets stirred. But I think Leo, that's the Queen of Wands. She is going to freaking get in there, get her hands dirty and stir the pot. Once she hits that Tower moment, once she hits that, says, okay, this has to go, then the pot gets stirred, then people all start swarming around. And they're all going to have opinions, they're all have ideas, they're all going to want to interject their stuff, they're all going to want to tell you what to do and how to do it and da-da-da-da-da-da. But I don't know that you're in a place to really listen to that. You shouldn't. I don't think you should, because I don't know that they really are going to get it. Right? Because it took you a lot to get, I think it took you a lot to get to this point. I think there's a lot of pressure behind this. There's a lot of like build up. There's a lot of history. There's a lot of experience. You went through it to get to that point. And I think you tried to avoid this point. You tried to avoid it. You tried to not be there. And yet there you are. And I love the Six of Cups at the very end. It's kind of like, this is a gift. I feel that this moment, this opportunity, is a gift that not only the universe is giving to you, but it's a gift you're giving to yourself. Tearing down this tower is going to be the best possible thing that you could do for yourself. Why did you resist it all this time? I feel the relief here. I feel the good feelings. I feel like by the end of May, you're going to look at the circumstances of that transpired, and you're going to say, I am so grateful that that happened. I am so grateful I had that push. I am so grateful I hit that wall, because now it can be different. Now I can relieve myself of all of that heaviness that I was wearing on my shoulders. And I don't even think I realized it, because I don't think you did realize. I don't think you realized you were either making it harder on yourself or whatever. Okay? So the realization comes through the sense of relief. And I think that's a really great way to end the reading. So I'm going to pull out the clarifiers now. So we're going to pull out a bunch more cards. We're going to talk another 25 to 30 minutes about all these cards. So if you want to join me, you are more than welcome. The link for that will be found in the description box and the comment thread down below. So let's go ahead and take a look here and see what comes through. The remaining reading for Leo. Let's see. 10 of Wands reversed. 6 of Wands, 4 of Coins. Yeah. Temperance, love it. 2 of Swords, the Fool, High Priestess. There's a weight in this reading. There's like a very heavy blanket on all of this. Another Ace of Swords reversed. There's the 4 of Wands. I love it. In the center. Oh, beautiful. And then the Leo card in the very center of the reading too. Knight of Coins. 8 of Swords. Another 5 of Wands. The Howling Dogs. Queen of Cups. King of Coins. And for the last card, beautiful. Beautiful. Absolutely love it. Okay. This is where we're going to pick up. Probably going to be still more of an intense message, but we will get you through it.